I didn't realize this, guys, and girls, until I started recording this, but today is actually a milestone episode of the show. This is episode number 375. We're closing in on 400 here. Yes, and I got Rick with Hamilton Sports Central with me. I'm going to get into this before we start anything because this game's already in progress with Ottawa and Winnipeg, but I had Winnipeg in this game. I just said, not that I didn't trust the Bombers after what happened last week and what Ottawa did. I'm assuming you were at the game, but I basically am like, I'm going to trust Winnipeg before I trust Ottawa.
I mean, in the nutshell, like after how last week went, I just basically flipped a coin. I mean, Winnipeg blew a 17-1 lead. Toronto blew a 22-point lead, so I just flipped the coin.
The big difference I look at those two games, one, I think, like Montreal, I think Toronto kind of got complacent in the sense of, hey, we're up, we're good. And then all of a sudden Ottawa is just like, about that. And then with Winnipeg, I think Calgary's the real deal. I think Calgary's really good. I think that's what last week was. But for this game, like I would rather, and also I have a motto right now, until they show me consistently they can do it, I would rather take my money that I used to bet and lose it betting against the Red Blacks than lose it betting on the Red Blacks.
True.
Yeah. So that's pretty much like all from last week. I want to say the only thing I'd say too is for everyone out there on the whole, because look, and I can say this now too, official Argonauts reporter for 3 Down Nation here, but it's officially official. But there were so many people after that one article that JC wrote about Dinwiddie's comments coming out and saying like, he doesn't trust he's lost the room. He doesn't trust the team. There are 2 things about Ryan Dinwiddie that I will always respect. He will never give you coach speak. And if you ask him something, he's going to give you the honest truth, no matter how good or bad it sounds. I just think there's a lot of Toronto fans that have been spoiled by the last 4 seasons to where,
thank you.
Hey, you're 2-7. You forgot. Hey, this is what it feels like to be bad. Unfortunately, the last time they were bad, it led to the world shutting down. So hopefully that doesn't happen in 2026. But that's honestly what it is. It's just, hey, the team's not it this year. They can salvage the season, but they're pretty much right now. It's like roles are reversed where Toronto and Hamilton were a year ago.
I've only been saying that for God who knows how many of the last couple of weeks. And it's just like, people, you need to get off your freaking high horse and get back to reality.
Yeah, like that's the thing too I like about you and Connor is the fact that you guys can both see through both, like looking like you can see both perspectives. And that's why like I've like I love the CFL now. Like it's a league I always follow. It's a league like hell, there's a game on, I'll watch. But with the difference between like me and the normal fans is the fact that like when I go in the room, I can, even though I'm wearing an Argonauts shirt right now because I thought it was cool and they thrifted it, 1997 Grey Cup champs. But you can go into the room and you can ask the questions to where I feel like some fans now, it's kind of like, oh, he's being a dick. Oh, he's doing this. I'm like, no, he's being a football coach who's mad that his team blew a 22-1 lead. He's mad that his team, who won the Grey Cup last year, is 2-7 when they really could be 5-4. He's at its wit's end. Special teams was not special. One thing I was critical of Saturday that some people were like, oh, he should have made the throw, was Nick Arbuckle's interception late. I'm sorry. You have time. There was a lot of people saying, you got to go for a big play. No, the way the secondaries were playing that game last Saturday, they didn't need to. Just do little chunk plays. Take the if it was like second or third down, take the shot, absolutely. But first down, it looks desperate when you're only down 4. If they were down 7, I would understand. You're down 4 points. A touchdown wins the game. It's not like you're playing for overtime. You're playing for a win. I understand going balls to the wall, but I feel like if it was like, 6 seconds on the clock, but 35 seconds of football is like 5 minutes,
Look at the game that we played against Edmonton and then the first game that we played against BC.
Yep.
There was 40 seconds on the clock and Bo's just doing the quick passes and then we get touchdowns. That's what he needs to go back to doing.
Like, I like the fact that he trusts Arbuckle to throw the deep ball, but the deep ball has cost him now in games it cost him against Montreal.
Yeah.
And it cost him against Ottawa. Like I said, you flip those 2 games around. Like the third was Saskatchewan with the late kick return touchdown, but you flip those 2 games around there. You're 4-5 right now, and 4-5 for Argonaut fans is stomachable. That's saying, hey, you play 500 football the rest of the year, you're good. They want to get in the playoffs. They got to do the reverse of what they did. They got to go 7-2 down the stretch, and it's
and two of those games against Hamilton.
2 of them against Hamilton. They have to go to Sask. They have to go to Calgary, a place where Ryan Dinwiddie, I don't think he's ever won. And you've got 2 games against the BC Lions, one of which is next Saturday, and which, on the other note, if you're listening to this, Argonauts.ca, second deck tickets are open up. It's looking like it's going to be a crowd of, I'd say, well up, if not north of 20. And I'd probably, if I had to guess, I'd probably say 18 or 19, but still, like, that's just the thing with Argonauts fans right now, where it's like Ticats fans, like after last week's loss, hey, Nick and I were on here last week, and I just said, I'm going to pick in Hamilton because it seemed like it was all going to come up Hamilton. And then, Tim White tried playing hero ball, and we all we knew what happened there.
Like, just go down if you have the ball. Like, stop playing hero and just go down. You wouldn't fumble it, and it's just like, come on.
As a person who had Hamilton -3.5 on his betting ticket, I wasn't pleased. And then just one more thing on the Toronto front. It's the same. Basically, the two relate to each other, though, because you're trying to do too much with too little. And usually when you do that in sports, you're not going to be on the winning side of things.
No,
it's as simple as that. But look, I know there's a man right now in the CFL who around some people is he who shall not be named. But for here, because you got involved in his Twitter thing today, is Luke Wilson, who's talking about restricted free agency. And it got people talking. Because I feel like, how in the NFL, like NFL's free agency, you rarely see a lot of big guys go because unless it's like on the Super Bowl team. Because, like, look, when you win the Super Bowl, you're going to go chase a bag because someone's going to throw money at you. But if you're on a good team and they're committed to giving you a little bit less because, hey, try to stay with a championship team and know you're always going to be on a winning side. I feel like in the CFL, if there were certain things being done like that, maybe, hey, Toronto's a little bit more competitive. Maybe Winnipeg, even a Winnipeg. Jesus Christ, 208 to 82 passing yards. That's why I picked against the Red Blacks tonight. And Zach Alaris throws an interception.
What else is new?
Damn it. That's the thing. I'm like, I want to like, I feel, and also I know this too. I feel like that was just a bad throw, but also to Ottawa's defense, I think is a very underrated unit. I just think, look, the cookie crumbles on offense, if you know what I mean. But let's see this. Yeah, like Zach, it's good coverage, but at the same time too, don't make that's a throw you don't make. I'm sorry, you don't make that throw.
It was almost like pretty much right to him.
Yeah, like Nick Arbuckle did that against Hamilton because I know the last time when Rick was on was right before when Toronto played Hamilton. He had the one throw where him and Mital made Deshaun Amos look silly. The next play around, Amos made Arbuckle look silly. He underthrew the ball. Unger over.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Amos undercut the route and just boop. But no, going back to the restricted free agency thing, I think it will make things interesting no matter where in the league you are. To where and Gino Lewis, another guy who had a good game last Saturday. It just makes things more interesting because there's no more of this like cat and mouse thing. I also did wish they made salaries available, but I feel like if you make salaries available, it just, adds fuel to the fire of the people who think, it's because the CFL is like less football. It's because, it's a lesser league. When in reality, it's the second best league to the NFL. It's better than the UFL.
So I will give my credit where it's due.
Yeah.
And Justin Dunk, John Hodge, JC Abbott.
When they make me look good.
Yes. The ones that come out and they do those articles yearly. With the positions. Again, I don't know if those are actual just hearsay salaries, what they are, but at least it's something.
The only one I know that got leaked was Chad's agent because when Chad signed, his agent basically went on posting being like, oh yeah, he got this much and this and this. And I was like, okay. I don't know anything about that yet. I do know though the midseason awards, I did vote on them. So like for the All-Stars and like the Coach of the Year, all this stuff, you're not gonna I did take Corey Mace just because I feel like in the difference between CFL and NFL Coach of the Year, in the CFL, it's always the coach who does the best. Because I have a take for you about Ryan Dinwiddie with Coach of the Year.
Okay.
I think he deserved it more last year than he did in 2023. And that's not discrediting 2023 at 16-2, but the season he did last year with the cards he was dealt and the fact that he went to the Grey Cup and did what he did, I think last year was a better performance of his coaching than 2023. I think 2023 was masterful. It was great, but last year really showed why he's a really good CFL head coach.
Okay, so question for you based off of that.
Yeah.
Now, you can say yes or no or however. I'm just curious of when you guys vote.
Yeah.
If say, for example, Saskatchewan, shits the bed like they did last year, and they go on a big losing streak, this, that, and the other. Do you think like the awards are based off of season or season and playoffs?
Season. It's always season. It's why last year too, like I didn't vote for it while I wasn't with 3 Down at the time, but I actually spoke to another Rick Zamprin, and a couple other people, and I said this with last year with MOP, with Brady Oliveira and Bo Levi.
Yes.
And my belief was Brady was the reason why the Bombers got to the playoffs and were as good as they were throughout that last stretch of the regular season. So for right now, like basically how the voting system works is like, it's a thing. Hey, rank it 1 to 9. I'm not going to say my rankings. I'll say this though.
No, I get that.
I had Mace 1. I had Milanovic 2. It was like a bit of a coin flip for me, but I thought about it and I'm like, right now, Hamilton was the hottest team, but I think Saskatchewan's the best team.
Yeah.
So at the end of the season though, if, Hamilton's number 1 in the East, if Saskatchewan falters and they end up being in second place, because right now it's between them and I think them and Calgary are going to be the team hosting the West Final come November 8th, I think it'll be. So when it comes down to that, like, and right now too, because it looks like Hamilton's going to be hosting a home playoff game, that East Final.
It just matter if it's going to be semis or East Final, but we're hoping East Final. But
yeah, so that's my thing too, because like if Saskatchewan falters down the stretch, because I think this Saturday too is really going to not be a determining factor, but it could be a mini Grey Cup preview, which I feel like Bomber fans are going to hate hearing, just because it's like obviously they beat Hamilton and it's their biggest rival playing in their home stadium in 3 months from now. Which God, that feels weird to say that we're already at the halfway point of the CFL season. Can you believe it? But that's how I view it. I always view regular season awards as regular season awards. The same thing happened in the NFL this year, where the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson arguments. But the difference why I love MOP versus MVP. Because MOP is just simply, hey, who's the best player in the league? Like my vote right now is Bo. At midseason, he's my MOP. I have basically my top 3 was like Bo, Vernon Adams, Nathan Rourke.
Yeah.
That's all. Trevor Harris is if you round it up to 4. Because I think with Nathan Rourke, but if it was MVP, I will say this, I will give it to Nathan Rourke right now, because we know he's the difference between the BC Lions being a good team and when we saw with Jeremiah Masoli, which, good Lord, was not
I mean, you could also make that same argument for Vernon Adams too.
Oh, 1,000%. Vernon Adams in Calgary. I think it's Rourke, or I think it's just actually, I was about to say we haven't seen it. I remember, 2 weeks ago, Ottawa completely killed the Calgary Stampeders, which for some reason, but that's the other thing too with Calgary right now. If you look at a few of their losses, I'm trying to remember what the third one was, but I know 2 of them was you got October weather in the middle of June, and then you had PJ Walker at quarterback. So it's really, hard to judge. Like that's where it's hard to judge. Like if it was like, if Vernon Adams was out for an extended period of time and Calgary really faltered, that's where it's like, oh, okay. Like even too, like when I say the Trevor Harris 4, it's because we've seen Jake Mayer come in when Trevor couldn't play, and Jake Mayer lit up the BC Lions. So,
yeah.
But then with Bo, it's just Bo's playing the best. He's lights out. He's outstanding. Boom. So that's just what I want to say on that front. But no, with Hamilton right now, I feel like more than anything, and this is not a dig at this person, but the difference between a Mark Washington-led defense to what they got going on right now with Monson,
it's complete difference.
Night and day.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Scott Milanovic and Tommy Condell.
The same Tommy Condell who I shared an elevator with on Saturday.
Oh, I bet that was awkward.
He really did not talk a lot. He's just like, I'm like, yep, having a good day. I'm just like, yep, just enjoying the day.
It's funny because I don't know if you remember, but the offensive line coach for Ottawa was the same offensive line coach for us.
Yeah.
And people always thought that was Tommy Condell. So they would yell from the fans and say, Tommy, you're trash or this, that. I'm like, buddy, that's not Tommy Condell. Tommy Condell sits up in the booth. That's not even Tommy Condell.
I feel like most CFL OCs sit up in the booth except for like Ryan Dinwiddie. I feel like he's the
and
ones
Milanovic.
And Milanovic. I feel like, besides like the guys who are like head coach and OC, I feel like it's really nice catch by Justin Hardy on the highlight reel there. But I feel like unless you're there, you're in the booth. Mark Mueller in the booth. Tommy Condell in the booth. Jason Hogan, actually, I'm not too sure of, but you know what I mean? There's a handful of people where it's like, oh, they're in the booth. They're not in the booth. But yeah, no. Like right now, because like, but honestly, even when I say this stuff for the Grey Cup, like I just look at it still. I know they say, oh, the season doesn't begin until Labor Day, and there's a game right now where I think
for us it doesn't start until Labor Day.
No. But I will say this right now because I was saying this to myself today. If Toronto were to go into Hamilton in 2.5 weeks, and which feels weird to say that game's 2.5 weeks away,
and win,
I'm not saying it changes the course of their season, but look at what Hamilton did last year. It kind of catapulted them to where they went on a little bit of a hot streak. Last year they just dog walked Toronto on Labor Day, but then the one game I remember is the game I was at where Mark Leggio kicked a walk-off field goal against Toronto on a Friday night. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying, a win Friday or a win Labor Day fixes Toronto's season. Because if they win the next 3 and they're 5-7, like I say, 5-7, you still got to go 4-2 in your last 6. The only thing I think that still sits in Toronto's favor is the fact that they are going to get some guys back soon, and they still have 2 bye weeks. There's Winnipeg, whose next bye week's not until the beginning of October. So, like, Winnipeg's got to hold on and hope that they're healthy. So for a team like Toronto, I'm not saying it's over, but they quickly got to turn their ship around. They got to pull together,
I think Ticats are more looking forward to their bye week after this week.
Yes.
Because with all of the injuries that we have now, come Labor Day, we will have, if not all of them, back.
That's my concern with Toronto because their next bye week's after Labor Day. They play the Monday.
Yeah.
They're off. And then their last bye week is actually the last week of the regular season too.
Mm-hmm.
So they could very well be that team that's, at home scoreboard watching the last week to see what happens here? What happens there? Which I don't know, but like still, if Toronto, I would say this. So if Toronto had Winnipeg's schedule or 2 of their bye weeks were already used up, I think they'd be screwed. I'm not screwed, but it'd be just looking at basically, pushing the boulder up the mountain, but the mountain just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger to where now, because even the good thing too is Ryan Hunter did appear on the injury report this week. He is a no-go. I would still say he's probably out till I'd say at least Labor Day, unless he appears on the practice report unless he appears But I think the fact that he's back and working is really good considering, a month ago someone hit him with his car, which, yeah.
I'm just curious of how Argos got screwed over with their last 4 of their games.
Yeah, BC, Edmonton,
BC, at BC, Hamilton, at Sask, and then at Calgary.
Which I still say, I said this to you, and no matter what position both teams are in, I feel like if Hamilton's going for the 1 seed, that's the game where Hamilton fans got to come and pack BMO Field. And then it's not like trying to knock on Hamilton fans, but you got a beautiful Saturday afternoon at the beginning of October, and the weather's still going to be nice. That will be a beautiful football day, probably.
Yeah.
Even if it's like high teens or like mid-teens with a little bit of a lake breeze, it's going to be like, it'll be like nice, but it won't be like cold. So, and
not only that, but you also got the $10 all-day trip pass, Go Transit pass.
That's what I use.
And I just found out that you guys also have in-stadium water fill-up stations too. I didn't even know you guys had that.
I can't comment on that. I don't know the full extent of that, but if you're the one with season tickets, so if you know about that, or Nick or
Connor just told me about it.
Oh, then I'm believing it. Yep.
And I'm like, you know what? To be able to instead, I'm all for supporting teams and concession stands and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I refuse to pay almost $10 for a freaking bottle of water. Like, that's ridiculous.
As someone who was at a baseball game last night and paid $35 for 2 alcoholic beverages, I will concur. Yep. I was for context, I usually record this on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but last night I was at the Blue Jays game, so
that's okay.
Yeah, even my reel from last week's video, which I still have to edit, will probably be up by tomorrow. But no, that's the thing too, and even for next week as well, like you get this. I've seen the attendance coming up. I know Nick was commenting on it, saying like how hey, it's great and all this stuff, and then I think it was Chris who chimed in saying like, oh, people could just buy the ticket and not go to the game. And I'm like, no, I think if you're buying a ticket to the football game if you're buying a ticket to the game to just get into the CNE, that's kind of a waste of money because it's like, hey, you get the CNE and you get a football game at the exact same time.
Don't forget selected seats. Also, you get a Blue Rodeo ticket too.
people were asking me about that because I have a group of friends that are coming to the game next Saturday, and they were like, "Oh, can we get Blue Rodeo?" I'm like, "I don't know." Like, I even asked Mike Hogan last Saturday. I was just like, "Hey, do you know about this?" He's like, "I have no idea." So I think it's just like you have to buy the select ticket, which also begs the question: is the Blue Rodeo concert not selling out for them to throw that out? Because I don't think I've ever seen that before.
So I don't know if it's selling out or not. I know the game's at 3. Blue Rodeo's at 6:30. And then you get to go to the CNE. So I'm like, I go to Connor. I'm like, you know what? Let's go to the CNE for a bit. Go to the football game. And he goes, well, maybe we should get a ticket to Blue Rodeo. I'm like, well, to be in all honesty, I'd rather go to a bar and watch the SAS Calgary game than go watch a band I've never seen.
Canadian rock royalty, but yeah, it's like because like the thing. So I'll give you my rundown of next Saturday. So because my wife is coming to the CNE, she's coming to the game. She's meeting up with people. I kind of like I like leave her be with all them to like go inside early, but I'll probably get down. I usually do eat in the press box, which I love to post my press box food on TikTok, to which someone's like, you leave us for like, you get this and we get like boiled hot dogs and all this other stuff. I'm like, I'm just showing you, hey, I got a good plate of chicken and a Caesar salad and like some rice and veggies. I'm just like, hey, here's what I ate. I don't like, I'm not here basically being like, oh, they're paying this. No, it's just, hey, this is what they fed us to against the Boo Bombers. It was pizza. So it's just like, hey, it's kind of like dealer's choice when you get up there.
The thing that I like about CNE, and I don't know if he's going to hate me for saying this, but I like to see Nick Small's take on the weirdest food that he gets when he's at the CNE.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. He spoke. He was here last week. He spoke to me about that. And I'm looking forward to that. But I've seen some of the weird foods, and there are some weird ones. But there's a couple where I'm like, I might have to try those.
Like what was it? I think there's like an ice cream, like something like mustard and ketchup, or like I don't know, something stupid. And then it's like crab or chicken with like Fruity Pebbles on the outside and everything. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. And
I have a TikTok open because a bunch of food influencers, I guess if you have like influencer credit, they'll be like, hey, come down and try the food and promote it. So let's go through the list before we get into the games this week for Pricks. Sure. So one was a smoky bacon cotton candy, which that's disgusting.
No.
No. Would you do a slice of deep fried pizza?
I mean, there's already grease on the pizza anyways.
It's like crusted with Doritos chips, which that one I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, why not? It's only crusted Dorito chips.
Fair. A chicken sandwich tossed in Biscoff.
Okay, first off, what the heck is Biscoff?
It's like a candy. They have a Biscoff McFlurry as part of the international menu at McDonald's right now. Cheap plug. They also have They have a hash brown ice cream sandwich, which is just like an ice cream and then 2 hash browns in the middle. That one, no. But
that one sounds like a barf.
But see, I have a thing where after the Argos game, I will go and get an ice cream. I'll go get a hot waffle ice cream sandwich from the Midway.
Okay.
I've done that the last 2 years with David Morisuti and Frank Stanishi. The three of us, we go after we're done our interviews, we'll go and do that.
Yeah.
Let's keep going through this list. Hot honey street corn. That's one I would flirt with. I like corn.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see what I got to go through some of the other stuff. Let's see. New crazy food at CNE part 1. Sushi corn dog. No, it's like a corn dog, but it's like sushi. I love both, but not together. Hot honey lemonade. No. I had a foot long of this last night, but would you eat a 2-foot long hot dog?
I mean, if I wasn't against the clock, I probably would.
There's no clock challenge.
Isn't that the one that's normally at BMO though? Like the foot long? Don't they normally have?
This is like 2 feet.
No. I'm saying, doesn't BMO usually have like a super foot long? There's a stadium that does, and I can't remember what's it.
There's a couple baseball stadiums in the States that do that. I know that. I know there's one in Texas that does it because everything's bigger in Texas. There's a Fruity Pebbles Korean corn dog, which it's like a corn dog, like a deep fried corn dog, and like with like a drizzle and Fruity Pebbles. This one I would go for though, a cheeseburger smash taco.
Okay, yeah, I could.
It's like a smash burger, but a taco.
I could just imagine what that would be worth.
Everyone's just like RIP or blood pressure. This one, I love the two combos separately, but not together, but a churro pizza. Something called super ramen, which I love ramen, but I'm not getting ramen at the X. Bananas. Yeah. There's banana sushi, which I think is like, it's not like,
Ew.
No, it's like, I'll show you the photo. So it's like wrapped in a crepe. It's like banana wrapped in like a crepe.
Okay.
Like that one I would do, that one's fine. Dirty sodas, which I think are just butter chicken lasagna.
I'm not one for butter chicken, but I would kind of try that.
Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, there's also a bolognese pizza at Pizza Nova, which is like a slice of pizza topped with like rigatoni noodles and bolognese sauce, which I would do the meat, but the noodle I don't know about. So
yeah,
if you're going to the CNE and you want to try some wacky foods, hope you listen to the show here, but also Nick Small is going to have you covered on that front. Because you know what? We've been talking too much food, which at 10, 12 at night, it's got me hungry. But you know what? I think I'm just going to call this like, come for the football, stay for the food, or some variation. That'll be the title of this show. Also, I just realized this too. This is the first time that Nick, I always called you Nick. Rick gets to see like this. So this is my full proper setup because the last time I was out of town when I recorded. So I have like this whole wonderful thing behind me, including my hat from Grey Cup 110 right here. I have my cup from Grey Cup 110, which no longer is in use.
I think I have every hat, even this one that I got from Ottawa on Canada Day weekend.
Yes.
I have every hat of the CFL except for BC. I don't have a BC hat yet.
And then my other one is just my press pass right here from the Grey Cup, which was awesome. I was talking to people about going. I don't know if I'm going to go anymore just because like with Toronto not playing as well. And I'm like, do I really want to go to Winnipeg in November? So unless things change, like right now, I'm like, if Toronto was in contention, I probably would go.
The only way that I will go is if Hamilton's in the game.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's fair.
Only because next year I'm trying to get seasons for the new AHL team in Hamilton. So that's going to be already pricey enough. Plus my ticket deal with Connor and my new season tickets and everything. It's just like, yeah.
When you get to a certain age, you got to pick and choose your financial battles. I completely understand it. I literally had this conversation with my mom a couple days ago where I was just like, yeah, there's some stuff I love to do, but at the same time too, we're adults and you got to be picky and choosy with your money. So, hey, if you get any season tickets, it means you don't go to the Grey Cup. That's what it is.
I mean, I've already been to Winnipeg.
Same.
So it's not like, I mean, Calgary, like my also plans are to do Alberta next year. So I got to decide when I want to do that and everything. So it's just like, you know what? I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Plus, I'm trying to do cover most Hamilton sports on the YouTube. So it's like Grey Cup, covering more sports. You got to weigh your pros and cons.
Exactly. Like, I feel like if the Grey Cup ever does do like Toronto, Hamilton, or Ottawa again, yeah, sign me up 1,000%. I'll as long as I get a press pass, I'll be there. Which, like Lucas of the league knows me, so I feel like I am good on that front, but I don't want to take that for granted. But less about us, more about football. We got some games to pick. We got 3 games to go through, and as always, CFL betting picks are presented by our wonderful friends at Gents Boutique. GentsBoutique.ca has all your famous golf apparel, make you look great on the course. Use promo code CFL 2025 at checkout for 20% off any purchase of $50 or more. First up, we have the Edmonton Elk taking on the Toronto Argonauts. Edmonton happens to be a 2-point favorite here, and I have a wonderful saying around these parts. If Ryan Dinwiddie is an underdog, I don't care what their record is, you take it. That is just, and also he's only lost 3 games in a row once. That happened to be earlier this year. But honestly, this game between Edmonton and Toronto is kind of like the game that you and I are both watching right now. I trust Toronto at 2-7 more than I trust the Edmonton Elks.
So you mean Toronto against
Edmonton
Argos? Have you?
No, the Edmonton Argos defense against the Toronto Argonauts.
It's funny because I was looking at the depth chart today for Edmonton. I was looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, between Toronto and Hamilton, there's more former Argos and Ticats on that team than any other team.
Ottawa, I would say, is a close third.
Well, I mean, all of our former players used to go to Ottawa because of Brian Burke. Now they're all going to Edmonton.
Yeah.
Or sorry. It wasn't. Sorry, I confused it. It's not Edmonton. It's the Toronto Ticats against the Edmonton Argos.
I like that. Yeah, because then eventually it's going to be the Hamilton Blue Bombers against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Because I got, because I seen GG is now playing fullback. Brandon Kemp. Then you have Kenneth George Jr., Mark Milton. I'm trying to think. David Unger the third. I'm trying to think of who else is on the Argos that used to be.
I know last year going from Toronto to Hamilton, there was quite a purge because I know that's when Jamal Peters went.
Amos.
Amos was 2025. I'm talking 23, 24.
Okay.
That was Peters. That was
Hendricks,
Barlow. I think that was it. I'll be honest with you too. I almost thought Coxie was going to go this year, but then I think once Polk went to the NFL is when Coxie resigned in Toronto. Because you know how there's always an Argo that goes to Hamilton no matter the season.
Well, this year you might as well count Kevin Brown.
Yeah.
Amos.
Last year too, for a slight bit, I'm blanking on his last name, but Benoit something. He was mainly a special teamer in Toronto.
Oh, Marion Benoit.
That's it. Or Benoit, yeah, or was it
Benoit Marion or something with those two names?
Yes, Marion Benoit Marion, one of those two.
Yeah, and then I was at practice today and yesterday, and I'm like, okay, Augustine won't be playing this week, so now you have Bell and Brown, so I'll be interested to see how that works against Sask. But I was looking, but I will save that for the Hamilton Sask game.
That'll be coming up next.
I'm curious to see how well Fajardo does versus Arbuckle.
The battle of the current Argonaut versus technically two former Argonauts, if you think about it.
Because you have Coxie on one side. Then you have Curly Gittins Jr. on the other side with Julian Grant.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have Rankin and Leak. So it's like Toronto doesn't have that much of a running game yet. They're still playing musical chairs, as always. And it's just like, come on. Like, it's funny because I ran into Matt Chinetti at practice yesterday. And I go to him, I'm like, Matt, what's with the musical chairs in Toronto? Like, they just released 2 players. They just signed 2 players. It's like almost every week it's Dante Makmahan and a new running back of some sort.
Yeah. So what did Chinetti say?
He's like, oh, they're just trying to, find their footing, and, they're bringing people in, getting a look at, and, they chose the players that they wanted to keep last year, and it's kind of coming around and biting them and whatnot. And I'm like, well, that does make sense because you did fork out money for McManus.
Yep.
You did fork out the money with Chad Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Chad Kelly's now not getting paid by the team, he's getting paid by the league. But it's like, had you put him on 6 game from the very beginning, you could have kept all of these players.
There's
not all of them, some of them.
So with the Toronto Argonauts right now, for as good as Cam Judge has been, Flo has been he's been the straw that stirs the drink for that Calgary front 7, even though they've got there's one other guy on their team. I'm blanking on his name right now.
For Toronto or Calgary?
No, Calgary, who's been really good on the defensive line. Calgary's defensive line has been incredible this year. Let me try to see if I will find it too, because I know I'm bad at this because we literally went through like a list of players, literally went through a list of players because of everything, I was saying with 3 down with the midseason.
Jalen Hutchins, that's it.
Jalen Hutchins.
Or I was going to say Hicks, one of the two.
Hutchins, Hicks, and Ormalade. Those 3 have been just killers. They've been killers for Calgary. The one player, though, where I really think it's coming back to bite them, and I think if they had gone Chad Gelly on the 6 games sooner, would have helped them to keep, Kadeem Carey.
It's funny you didn't mention that. I thought you were going to go a different route and go with Dan Adnaboye.
I'm really happy for Dan. You know, he comes from a great family. His parents are great. They're lovely people.
Yeah.
I've got to meet them before. His dad always seems like he's just one of those people who never stops smiling, you know.
Yeah.
Rainy day, but hey, we're outside, you know. Dan, I think, was more of he needed to go somewhere else to get an opportunity to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was anything like, you know, if like Dan was the Toronto running back this year, you know, it'd be world beater and he becomes like Brady Oliveira 2.0. I just think, hey, we're going to send you to Ottawa. You're going to get a better chance to be more than a special teamer. That was more of a trade, you know, where the business side of football really rears its ugly head. That's what I think that was. But Kadeem Carey was re-signed because Kadeem Carey is really the reason. There was a huge reason why they won the Grey Cup last year. He played phenomenal in that game. But no, so that's my thing. That's my take on Dan. I think Dan was just, you know what, hey, you know, mutual parting of ways. You know, relationship ends. Hey, you know, I'm going to go work in Ottawa. Great. We want to see you succeed in Ottawa. We hope for the best. Shake hands. Go your separate ways. That's what I think Dan Adnaboye was.
And then Carey goes over to Saskatchewan and
hasn't really been doing much. Yeah,
he's on the 6th game.
He is on the 6th game, but even still before that, he wasn't doing a whole lot because AJ was there. I think he was more of an insurance policy.
I mean,
yeah. And then there's with Toronto as well, though, there is the Cameron Dukes. There was the Cameron Dukes cutting, but then as soon as I saw that preseason game, which I'm happy, same for him. I'm happy he's getting a chance in Montreal. But the trade the way I saw him play in that last preseason game, I was like, this ain't it. I'm like, you know what? He was doing a lot of checkdowns. There wasn't much different from 24 to 25. So that's where I was like, you really had a chance to show them, hey, this is what I am. And he didn't live up to it. So that's what Cam Dukes was for me. But no, I still think it's Kadeem Carey over Dan Adnaboye.
I mean, if you're going to use them, yeah. But, I mean, they're thinking, okay, Dante McMahon's going to be the next great thing. You know, let's go make him our starter. And then you weren't using Kadeem Carey.
It's also to the fact that they had Mayan Williams as well. And the fact that he has the concussion issues, which is something Jesus Christ, that was a nice pass. You know, that's one of those ones where with Mayan Williams, where it's just, hey, he's had concussion problems. You just got to be careful with those. So it's a real weird catch-22 with all that stuff. But you know what? Too little, too late. Like I said, like how I picked Winnipeg to win this game, I think this is a game Toronto wins. Because next week's game for Toronto, it's a must-win regardless. I don't care what they do this week. They could be 2-8 going in that game. Next week against BC, CNE, that game is a must-win. That game is also going to be fireworks because whenever Toronto and BC play in BMO Field, at least in my couple of years covering the team, games.
Oh no!
Exciting. I am behind you, so I'm going to wait and see what happens.
Okay. I'm not going to.
Oh, Drew Brown. Oh. Oh. I just saw him go for the knee, and right away, I'm like, oh, boy.
There goes this game.
I'm not going to be rude, but that might be, you know, curtains for if it is. That might be curtains for like. Oh my God, that's tough. Oh, it's tough.
Because it's funny because I have the TV here, I have you on this screen, and then I have the CFL tracker here.
No,
and I just seen Drew Brown. I'm like, oh crap.
So I have
and then I had the trainers around him, so I didn't get to see what happened. I'm thinking to myself, don't tell me it's another concussion.
No, I think the way he went down and grabbed his knee right away, I was like, oh crap, because like I have guys sweating on a treadmill in a trash can. My TV's diagonal there. I'm not going to show you my basement's a mess right now. I got a bunch of like work stuff down here, so I'm going through. So I'm not. So
just watch it on my screen. You can see the guy in the trash bag.
Yeah, literally, and you're already ahead of me on the IKEA commercial with the girl brushing her teeth in the.
And it's funny because I have my Google Chrome.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to really say this out loud per se, but I'm going to anyways. I actually pay for a Android box, but I have it connected to my Google Chrome. So I have probably 4,000 TV channels that I pay like $100 a year for. And all of them are all the TSN, Sportsnet, The good thing about this is once hockey starts,
you get every game
plus more. I have all of the NHL. I have the AHL, the OHL, the WHL, the QMJHL, the SPHL, whatever the heck that is.
It's a league in the United States. It's like a very low tier professional hockey. Okay, Drew Brown is up and good though. I guess he may have just like tweaked it or something. Oh no!
Oh, so he has to come out for 3 plays.
Yeah. So the cookie's gonna crumble here. Oh wait, is he? No, that's an 18. That's a 1 and an 8.
Oh,
that easy touchdown for Dustin Crum.
Why couldn't he do that earlier in the game when they got stopped on the 1 yard line? Like, come on.
I don't know, because he found it. He's just like, oh, open lane. Whee, I'm gonna go. But no, going back to this game, going back to Toronto Edmonton though, I'm just gonna pick Toronto. Because I think more than likely, it's like this game here. The more likely scenario, even if Winnipeg does blow it, is the Argonauts winning the game more than the Elks. Because I want to see it from the Elks. Because they had their 2 wins. One was against Ottawa, one was against a depleted Montreal team. And now which Sean Lemon today got fined for peeing like a dog. And then I didn't see the Caleb Evans one, but apparently he used his hands as like a gun or something like that. He did I guess he did like or something like that. So that's what happened there, which look, it's very interesting on that front. But no, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go with Toronto. I think that they'll respond well because they're not a team that's gonna quit no matter their record. They didn't seem to show that last week in the room. It's just, you know what, hey, move on to the next one. Try to go 1-0 on the week.
Fair enough.
Your pick?
I just like what I've seen from Cody Fajardo in the last couple of weeks. If Toronto doesn't have that big running game that we're so used to seeing, so I think Nick Arbuckle will probably have like a 300 game, like a 300-yard game. Then you have Metier coming back tomorrow. You have Tyrell Ford back there. You have all these people in the secondary. And I just think that for some strange reason that Calgary's going to get a couple of interceptions tomorrow. Toronto, it won't be as high scoring as last week, but it will be a close game.
Yes, I agree with you. I think this one will be a lower. This is going to be like 40 points or anything like that. Like I think it's going to be like a what I think this game's going to be like what
20s.
Montreal Toronto was last week. For me too, I'm going to say this right now. For as good as Cody Fajardo looked last week, I want to say this. This game's to show me something, Cody Fajardo. Show me that you can win 2 games in a row with this team. Show me that this Edmonton Elks team is ready to turn the corner. That's where I'm getting at as well.
Fair enough.
Yes. And then Saturday afternoon, Saskatchewan taking on Hamilton, potential Grey Cup preview. I'm going to say this right. I saw some people say this, that if flexing was an option, I feel like if Friday Night Football you could flex it out. I feel like there's people who would love to have this game be the Friday night game tomorrow night instead of Toronto Edmonton, but you can't do that. You're going to hate me for this. I did go Sask. It is a coin flip game, but I just think, you know what?
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
My reason for it is the fact that I want to see how Hamilton responds. The fact that Sask has had their number, the last 3 games in a row. And the fact that Sask is coming off the bye week, I think is another one that kind of speaks volumes. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I really think this is a game that it can go either way. I think this is going to be a very close game. This has the potential to be a shootout.
So with me, it's going to come down to 2 factors. So Saskatchewan gives up a lot of yards on the pass.
Yep.
But then they also have AJ Ouellette too. So if Bo can have a 300 game against the pass and shut down AJ Ouellette with the run game, it's quite possible.
I also think too that Kenny Lawler needs to be the Kenny Lawler we've seen
from week 2, week 2 where he had the 162 yards.
That one, or the game against Toronto where he went for over 200. I think they need that Kenny Lawler to play. Keandre Smith, O'Leary Orange have all been great. You want to win this game, you need your biggest star to play his best.
I was gonna throw out another game.
Okay.
West Finals last year.
Yes, that's another great great example, because if Kenny Lawler can go in there and do that to the Rough Riders, man, there's going to be a lot of pissed off people wearing green.
Or what? Sorry to burst your bubbles, Griff, or what he did against you guys with those 3 touchdowns.
I literally referenced it. I said it. Said it before, where I'm like, or the game he went over 200. Honestly, as a football fan, I was just like, God damn, like, like that. Like, there's some games in football where a guy's just unstoppable. You're not stopping him. He's gonna do his thing. That's what that game was. You know what?
So
that game, I was like, you know what? I can't even be upset. I gotta like look at this and just be like, God damn, this guy's being a psychopath tonight.
So here's my thing: is you either do one or two things.
Yeah.
You either stop Kenny Lawler.
Yes.
Or you don't stop Kenny Lawler and you stop Bo Levi Mitchell. You can't do both. It's either one or the other.
If Sask really wants to control this game, they will shut down Bo Levi Mitchell. Because I think if you have to force Hamilton to run the ball and you're not getting air yards, then they'll run into trouble. But if you force them to shut down Lawler, he's going to do what he did against BC, where Keandre Smith's getting open, Tyler Taranowski, local kid, and Brandon O'Leary Orange is getting open. So I think if you shut down Bo Levi Mitchell and force him to run the ball and rethink his offense, that's where you'll run into trouble, and that's where it could benefit Sask. But I think ultimately, I do think though this game could be won on last possession.
I'm saying this game. I've been saying this for the whole kicking caboodle. This is going to be one of those down to like less than 3 minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just looking at Sask's roster. Like, there's a lot of people on the 6 game.
Yeah, not Julian Grant. Schaefer Baker's been on there like all season long. I don't think he's played yet.
Sean Bain's been practicing this week. I don't know if he plays tomorrow, but I mean, if he doesn't play tomorrow, Calgary or Sask went and released like 4 people today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming Bain Jr. is going to be playing tomorrow. But I mean, you have him picked in. Johnson is another one. Then there's Johnson and Myers. There's another one. So I mean, they have decent wide receivers to get the job done. I just don't think that they have the caliber of receivers.
Also, per the Riders Twitter, with what was I going to say? From friend of the show, Britton Gray, who's a Riders supporter out in Regina for CJME News. Friend of the show, he's been on him, and he comes on here once a month to give me my little Riders scoop. It could be the same. There could be 0 changes from the previous game, which also includes as well Mario Alford as well is out of practice with a hip injury. So there's a lot there to uncover with the Riders, but like I say, I'm just going with what I think is going to happen. That's just what I think is going to happen. Because and I'll say this too for Hamilton's sake, if you have them go into the bye into Labor Day weekend with 2 losses.
That's going to be one pissed off Ticats team against the Argos.
Yeah, where if the Ticats were to, and Steve Milton taught me this phrase, apparently for the longest time, Ivor Win was called Ivor Never Win because the Argos would never win on Labor Day. So you create that kind of environment, you just add more fuel to the fire, because I know the Hamilton fans right now have just, like, look, Toronto fans can have their chirps, but Hamilton at the end of the day can have the fact that they will, if they do win Labor Day, 5 wins in a row against Toronto.
I mean, there's been times where Toronto, apparently Dustin Crum's in the game now.
Yes, he is.
So apparently, like, there's been times where Toronto's won X amount of games in a row, even in Hamilton.
I think for the longest time though, it was the opposite way around. That's why I was saying that. That's all. One more thing though, if you had to give an X factor for Saturday's game against Sask for Hamilton, what's like an X factor that the Ticats need to hone in on to win the game?
I would say if they can continue not having penalties like they did against BC, that kind of helps them. But also with Isaiah Wooden out, you have Quavonian White and Jonathan Moxey on kick return. You need to have good kick return to set up your team for success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're only going to get to the 20-yard line, that's not going to do us any good. If you can get us to like 30, 40, well, then that's a whole nother story.
That's a
and
great...
then the other X factor that I will say is, if we can go back to the first game against BC in Edmonton and just have both throwing short passes instead of the long bombs, he was successful at those. And then he started to go against the long bombs, and then it's like, okay, incomplete. It's like, just throw the short passes, kill time, and you're good to go.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And the other one I will have for Toronto, I'm just going to go back to Toronto just to provide one for them.
Mm-hmm.
For the love of God, just have good special teams. That's the one thing. Just for the love of God, special teams needs to be special. That's literally mine. You know, Mickey Donovan, gotta get the boys fired up. Just make special teams be good. You know, offense and defense will do its thing. Special teams has got to come up big.
I would also kind of say maybe get a run game going for Toronto, because the last few games they've had some, but not a lot.
Sorry about the yawning. It's just late, but
that's okay.
The fact that the run game's won. It's just the fact that special teams has pretty much cost them their last 2 games in a row.
That's true.
Poor special teams has literally cost them the last 2 games. Like, Trey Val only has 1 of those touchdowns. There's a very good chance Toronto sends that game into overtime. And if they do what they do last Saturday and not allow drives that end up in the red zone or give Ottawa points and positive momentum, maybe Toronto wins that game.
The one thing that I will mention for next Saturday's game is, if you remember last year's game, when Vernon Adams was in Toronto, where he threw it wasn't last year, it was the year before.
Yep.
Because our buddy picks. Yeah. So for some reason, every BC quarterback has always had a bad showing in Toronto. It's just like, this is going to be Rourke's first time playing in Toronto. So it's like, okay, well, what's Rourke going to bring to Toronto?
That's exactly it. And speaking of Nathan Rourke, Saturday night we finished off with BC taking on Montreal. I'm not saying the rails are falling off with the Alouettes, but I'm looking at their schedule right now. Like, they have the Lions, the Bombers, and then they play El Tigres on a short week for them, September 6th. But I still go back to that comeback game, and I want to ask you a question. If you were Jason Moss, do you really think it was worth beating Toronto to lose Davis and Alexander? Because I don't.
No.
I think you should have just chalked up the loss, done there, because now you're basically having to,
So
then you put the other injuries aside too. No Tyson Philpott, no Austin Mack, etc. The defense has just not been the same for Montreal.
I have a theory behind this. Again, it's just my thoughts. It may not be true or anything like that. It's just my theory.
Your thoughts are what we're here for.
This whole McLeod Bethel Thompson thing.
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts are, because of how horrible he's been playing.
Yep.
Now you can correct me because you know more about the CBA and whatnot more than I do. Is there not a rule that after a certain amount of weeks, a veteran's contract is guaranteed? Is that such a thing or no?
I'm not 100% sure, because I'm not like, I haven't really studied the CFL CBA to that extent, but
so it wouldn't
shock me.
Here's my theory is, because if McLeod Bethel Thompson's playing as bad as he did, or as he has, whatever they're paying a salary, they don't want that to go against the salary cap. So they're like, okay, we'll just put you on the 6th game. The league can pay for your salary.
Yep.
You sit out for however many games, and we'll just bring in Cameron Dukes and use part of your salary to pay him. It's just my thoughts, but that's honestly what I think happened.
I think it's something like that. I think, hey, you're a little banged up. Okay, we're going to take you out. We're going to bring Cam in. Also shows they just don't trust Caleb Evans to play quarterback. But my thing with the Alouettes too right now is just I look at the team that played against Sask, and I was just like, you got effing railroaded in that game. Like that game was ugly. I think last week, because like last week was more of an FU game from Cody Fajardo, where it's like,
yeah,
yeah. You're not saying that they didn't make the right choice, but that was more Cody being like, you miss me now. So there's that element to it, but ultimately Montreal's just they're really in like a rock and a hard place right now. If you look at it, where it's like our quarterback's having issues. Drew Brown's, or I don't even know if that was Dustin Crum or not, but he's just out here. Whoever's a quarterback for Ottawa is just getting killed tonight. Oh, no, 1 sack, but still, that was a ferocious sack. But regardless, though, I think
that was Crum.
That was Crum. So you know what? The cookie crumbled there. Get it? The cookie crumbled there.
Yes,
that was like my title for my thing about Arbuckle last week. It was Arbuckled under pressure.
It's not. He's not making a CRUM-Back.
No, he's not. Don't call it a CRUM-Back. That's title for the show. But timestamp at 57:44. But yeah, no, with this game, like BC's just the better team. BC's looking good. But if if Montreal really wants to show us that, hey, we're still who we think we are, you go and win this game, or you at least keep it close. Because if they get dog walked in this game, I know they play Winnipeg next week too, and Winnipeg's looking better. Winnipeg's looking good. And if you look at the standings right now, 5-5 becomes 5-6, and Toronto wins a couple games. Hell, Ottawa wins a couple games. Because if you look at Ottawa's schedule, Jesus Christ, their schedule is where they have the Elks home and home with the BC Lions, Winnipeg. Jesus Christ, the Red Blacks don't play. You know when the Red Blacks play another Eastern opponent?
After Labor Day.
Thanksgiving Monday.
Oh.
And they play at home and home with Montreal, and then they play at Hamilton for the last game of the year on October 24th. But like that, wow, that's just weird. But yeah, like I just saw that. I was like, Jesus, they literally play their next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their next 6 games are all against Western teams. And also 7 of 8.
So do bye weeks count towards 6 games or no?
I don't think so, because Chad's 6th game, I think he's going into game 4. I think he's eligible to return after Labor Day, I think is the earliest he can return.
So I was just looking at the schedule and transactions and that. So Davis Alexander's earliest time that he can return is CFL Saturday, where they have a triple header. I just call it CFL Saturday, where they have that triple header.
Yeah.
Where they play Hamilton on September 6th.
That's a short week for Hamilton too.
Yes, it is.
Going to the stadium with terrible Wi-Fi.
And they have those stupid horns again, for the love of God.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
You and Matthew Shinetti. Said publicly on air here. But
no. It's just because, like, if I'm sitting at home watching the game, I want to hear what the play-by-play people are saying, but I can't hear what they're saying because of the stupid horns. So it's like, do I have to like put on like the Ticats audio network and like have the play not synced up?
That's a you call.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that's the thing too with Montreal now as well. They lose their next 2 games, and that they're like I said, I literally had it a second ago. Their record right now is 5-4. They lose their next, because like if they lose their next 3 in a row, they're 5-5, 5-6,
5-7,
and then they play Sask at Saskatchewan. And then that September 19th Friday night football game against Toronto really has a lot of merit to it now. So if you're Montreal, you really got to turn your narrative around. But until whoever's quarterback there shows me, which I still think Caleb Evans will start Saturday. I don't know if they're going to have enough time to get Cam Dukes, in familiar with the offense, considering Cam's been living in Florida the last like 2.5 months. I'm going BC. I also think the over hits in this game. I think this game's just electric, or it's a blowout where BC scores at least 30 points.
So I'm just trying to do fact check here because I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
Because with what you just said, I'm trying to find out when the last time one East team made the playoffs against all West teams.
Ooh.
Because if you think about it, with what you just said, if Montreal craps the bed, Toronto and Ottawa are pretty much, I wouldn't say out of the playoffs, but if both Winnipeg and BC win this week, it's just looking worse and worse.
Yeah.
Then if for some strange reason Edmonton gets on a hot streak, that's almost like 4 teams out of the West that make the playoffs against Hamilton. And Hamilton's the lone East team.
It's either that or you're just going to have one team from the West. You're going to have one East team that makes it, that like a West team misses. That's really good. And you have an East team makes it that maybe shouldn't. That's what I think happens. I still think you get at least 2. I still think you get at least 2 teams from the East. It's just how many Western teams make it at this point. Is it 4 or is it 3?
So if
is it 5, or is it
if Winnipeg gets third,
yes,
whoever BC plays in the East is done for.
Yeah, like if it's BC and like if it's Montreal, let's say if it's Montreal and BC's coming to Montreal, they did it once this year and ended in a fist fight. But what's stopping them from doing that again? I completely agree with you. And then you're gonna get
the thing is, but then you'll also have, bearing any further injuries, you'll have 2 healthy teams.
Yes.
So it will be interesting to say.
It's a very interesting It's a very interesting scenario, and we're gonna have to wait and see where the rest of the season goes. But we're full gear. We're full like heavy metal ahead to Labor Day. Brady Oliveira punches it in to put the Bombers up more.
That's right. I have him on fantasy this week, so that helps me.
Awesome. But before we go, there's one thing I wanted to ask you about because I saw you're doing a little fundraiser.
Okay. Before I do, will. You forgot to ask me for my pick. I'm also going with BC.
My apologies. My question to you though: does BC win it big or does Montreal keep it close?
I say, okay. Let me ask you this: what do you classify as big?
7 plus touchdown.
Touchdown? Oh yeah, they're winning by more than a couple of touchdowns.
Spreads at 7.5 points right now.
Oh, I could see at least 14.
Yeah. I think this game though really will show us what kind of coach Jason Moss is. How do you handle this kind of adversity if you're Jason Moss?
Yes. Anyhow, you're going to ask me.
I saw online you're going to be a part of a little 65-kilometer walk this coming Labor Day weekend.
For the second year in a row?
I didn't realize you were a part of it last year.
So, with last year, I worked the Saturday, but I walked the rest of it.
Okay.
So this year it's more of me taking on a bigger role than last year. And then there's kind of me promoting it and then getting other people to join in and everything. So just so that your viewers know, this year's is Cancer Care for Manitoba.
Yeah.
Which is a fundraiser that is based out of the city of Winnipeg. Obviously, they always pick a fundraiser for the year that they host the Grey Cup. So Cancer Care Manitoba provides a variety of support groups and services to assist patients and their families through their cancer journey. This year we actually got a shoe sponsor. Shoe Coney is the company's name, and they actually sent us pairs of shoes for the walk. So those people that want to join us, day one, we are doing BMO to Mississauga Road. The Saturday, we're doing Mississauga Road to Third Line in Oakville. Third Line, or the Sunday, we're doing Third Line to Barton Street. So basically, I know you know Hamilton well. When you get off at the Nikola Tesla Boulevard, you have that, or you have Woodward. If you take Woodward, there's all those like factories and stuff like that. Like we go up Woodward, and then it's is it IKEA or like Lowe's? Sorry, it's Lowe's. Mm-hmm. So we walk from Lowe's to the stadium on the Monday. Connor is doing a head shave and beard fundraiser for the CFL Fans Fight Cancer. So he's shaving his head and shaving his beard. So he's raising $250 to go to CFL Fans Fight Cancer. And it would not be a popular shout out if I didn't shout out Ted Gavaya, because Ted Gavaya is also battling cancer as well.
Yes.
So my walk is for my mom, my aunt, and Ted Gavaya.
We love to hear all of that. I will have links in the bio below for Cancer Cares for the Manitoba fundraiser, as well as CFLFC, which stands for CFL Fans Fight Cancer. FFC, pardon me, it is Fans Fight Cancer. It is almost past my bedtime. I know I'm only 31. So, it's past my bedtime. So
last year we raised in person $3K, and we did $10K online.
Amazing.
Last year altogether for the Michael Kudoni Foundation for Childhood Cancer Research in Vancouver, altogether they did 75,000. Their goal is to get 100,000. So there's going to be me, Dallas, Connor, Nick. I don't know if Dallas's wife's doing the walk again with us this year. There's a few other people that said that they're going to be joining us from the Toronto community. If you want to join us, just reach out to me. It's HS. Oh, I gotta find out what my Twitter handle is. HS Central YT on X, and I can tell you where we are. Typically, if there's a game going on, we're stopped off at some bar, having something to eat, something to drink, pop and whatnot, and watching the CFL game. And then once that's over, we get back on the road.
Because I know this year there's only 3 games that weekend. There's a game Sunday night. And
there's always 3 games on that weekend.
I think those are the only ones they're doing this year. I'm pretty sure BC, Montreal, and Ottawa have bye weeks.
But I mean the Sunday usually, and then it just sucks that they don't have a Saturday or Friday game. It just means more walking for us.
Yeah.
The only downside last year is that it was a thunderstorm during, I think, the Saturday night, so we had to call it early, or the Friday night. But unless it rains, we pack. Well, I pack for weather, and I also bring Gatorade for everyone too. So
doing something like that may seem to someone else as like, why are you doing that? But you guys are doing it there's a much greater good involved in it, and CFL people are behind you. There's also one other person. Can I shout out one person quickly with the Manitoba cancer thing? Longtime Winnipeg sports reporter Ted Wyman also did pass away the day of the West Final last year as well, with a battle of cancer as well. So it's just something to note as well. A longtime Football Canada reporter, just always involved with the game, and unfortunately had his life cut short to cancer as well.
So the thing with me is, so the big inspiration for me was Terry Fox.
Yes.
Canada legend.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, me and Connor had the discussion last year is, if people that have cancer battle through this, I'm sure pain that we go through for 4 days isn't going to be near as what they deal with.
No. What you guys go through, oh, my feet hurt, oh, I'm tired, oh, I'm hot.
We stop, take a rest, and we get it back up and walk.
Yeah. 65K journey from BMO Field all the way to Hamilton Stadium that will go from Friday, August 29th to Monday, September 1st, culminating in a game there. I assume as well you guys will have a bucket with money.
Yes, we will. So those people that don't want to do money-wise, we also have a QR code on our bucket as well.
Yes.
That you can always do it. People always thought, well, why don't you guys have a debit machine? It's like, well, people, who's going to trust walking up to someone at a tailgate? Hey, would you like to donate for a fundraiser? Here's a debit machine.
Oh God, no.
At least with the QR code, you get a tax return.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
And one other thing that I will say is, if you go on to CFL Fans Fight Cancer, You can get this pin, you can get the shirt, and you can also get a hoodie. Hopefully next year they have hats, because I'd be down to get a hat.
I think I'd be down to get a hat too, Rick.
But what I'm really, really, really hoping that the Ticats would do, I've already asked the people at the store, and they said that there's no plans on it right now, is Team Ted shirts.
Yeah.
Because all Ticat fans are looking for Team Ted shirts, and we can never find them unless you go and buy them from China, and then it's a 50-50 chance if those are actually real or not, but...
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. You're taking a gamble on those. It's not worth the risk. And plus, too, this way you know as well, like, hey, the money's going somewhere good. It's not just going to China.
That's true.
Yeah. But anyway, folks, that's going to wrap it up. Episode number 375 of YWC Football Talk in the bag. We're going to be back we had 2 episodes this week, 2 episodes next week. We're probably going to be doing 2 episodes a week between now and Grey Cup, and then we'll go from there. The train's going from now until the Super Bowl is awarded in the middle of February. For Rick, I'm Griff. Have a great night, guys. Enjoy the CFL this week.